It's the Raro show, no. Every time she come around like a cheat code, she always get the show and always get this interview. I cannot get enough of her. I'm watching part 2. Everything that's going on lately.
I actually wanted to backtrack a little bit because I enjoyed seeing you in The Intruder. But contrary to your role in The Perfect Guy, it's as if you just essentially switched places. How was it preparing for both roles, and what was the experience just kind of being like the exact opposite?
Good question. You know, I think for me, The Perfect Guy was a chance for me to break the mold that I had established prior to that, which was being the romantic comedy guy. Yeah. So then when I wanted to break that mold by doing The Perfect Guy. When I did The Perfect Guy, I think I shook it.
No, it was good. You freaked me out at it.
Everybody kill people. Even when I did Being Mary Jane, everybody was like, "You better not kill my girl." Yeah, I'm not. She's the lead of the show. I'm not gonna kill her. Different character. But now I have that reputation, right? So, in this one, it's like kind of a throwback to me going back to my somewhat heroic roots.
Yeah.
Trying to be somewhat of the moral compass of this piece, but at the same time, what I love about Scott is he's kind of the anti-hero, right? Like he can't fight. Yeah. He can't fix a light bulb. He's kind of like one of these new men that exist out here that can't work with their hands on much. Right. He's like, yeah, just get somebody to do that. Just pay somebody to come do that. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's crazy. So we're losing a lot of those men, and I think that's one of the things that Dion really wanted me to kind of embody was not being Ealy in this movie, not being heroic, kind of being a regular guy, and then seeing where we end up at the end. And it was fun to kind of play that guy because he was a bit more snarky and a bit more. He's nothing like me, which was great. Yeah.
So is that part of the appeal of the character? Because it's not...
Yes, I didn't say that. Yes. Yes. Part of the appeal of taking this character was that it put me on the opposite end of the spectrum this time. So instead of embracing, the sociopath, I'm fighting against the sociopath, especially to protect my wife. And I think when you see the film, you realize if you don't want to protect Megan, you have no heart. She's about the sweetest thing. So yeah, it was fun. It was a big appeal for me to kind of go to the opposite and to do it opposite Dennis Quaid. An iconic American actor who, I knew I could come in and learn something.
What is one obstacle that you have overcome that you knew once you overcome, you're like, I can do anything I really put my mind to?
Obstacle that I've overcome.
We're still working on overcoming.
I think the whole light skin, dark skin thing. I don't subscribe to that. It annoys me to no end when people talk about the differences between light skinned blacks and dark skinned blacks. It annoys me to no end because it perpetuates a stigma that is actually prevalent around the world. So, dark-skinned Indians, light-skinned Indians,
Africans,
Asians, everybody. And it's really, really it's just so sad because it's 2019 and it's like we're still kind of dealing with this. And, one of the things that I have dealt with is colorism in terms of not being considered black enough. And some people think I got it made because, I got blue eyes. And I'm like, yeah, well, it has hurt me to a certain extent, because sometimes, there's a desire to see someone who's quote unquote really black.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what would make me more black?
Right.
You know, then now you have to redefine what is black.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like, well, if I've been pulled over by the police,
right,
and thrown out of the car, am I qualified now?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
am I qualified now? Because I had my share of that growing up here.
Wow.
And so, you know, do I have to be thrown on a cop car to understand what it's like? Or is it just a knowledge of your history?
Right.
Because I got that here too.
Right.
So, you know, if you understand the history of our people, then I think you can understand that, you know, we all definitely, I'm not denying that to a certain extent, light-skinned blacks have definitely benefited from some preferential treatment, but yeah, it don't stop some of the discrimination. I'm here to tell you, you can still catch hell.
Right.
You can still catch hell. And at the same time, I feel like, you know, as much as I may have gotten a role because I was easier to make the transition, you know, for white folks to see me and say it's easier to make that transition. Right. I've also lost out on some roles because I wasn't, you know, I wasn't Idris. You know, like I wasn't dark enough. I didn't identify as black on camera. Yeah. And it's like, well, let's talk about that. Because, you know, Malcolm was lighter than me. Mm-hmm. You ever question his black?
No.
Ever.
Yeah.
No. Ever. You did. You got dealt with.
Right.
You got dealt with. So, I mean, in that sense, you know, but I think the same thing holds true, like I said, for other cultures.
Yeah.
You know, you're Indian, Middle Eastern, you know, it doesn't matter. The lighter, darker thing has been perpetuated by most, you know, white people. Yeah. And you have to say, look, we're done with this, because that's a way to divide and conquer. Right. We're done with this. Yeah. And so that's the thing I think I probably had to struggle the most with to try and overcome. And I still fight that battle, like last week.
Wow.
Yeah.